Hey guys, I almost didn't make it to do this video. Come here, Bjorn. Come here. I've been out all day. We pulled a couple of dogs from the pound this morning, death row dogs, so we're very happy about that. They're actually siblings, and we pulled them this morning, and we had a bunch of dogs to go to the vet, and so on and so forth. So anyway, I'm glad I made it just in the nick of time. And what I wanted to talk about, I kind of alluded to this earlier today when I announced that I was going to do a video tonight, was I have a Facebook follower who hopefully set his alarm. He said he was going to, because it's 4:30 in the morning in Germany, and his name is Danny, and he adopted a dog from Bosnia. And what he wanted to know, he said that this dog actually has, she sounds pretty cool. She's a dog that is incredibly balanced. These are my words, not his, but this is what I'm telling him right now that his dog is. So she's a dog that gets along with every dog she meets. She wants to play with everybody, whether they want to play with her or not. But if they don't want to play with her, if they act aggressively at all, she just blows it off and just moves on, right? And she likes cats, she likes dogs, she's totally cool around everybody. And the fact that she's from Bosnia made me think about the fact that this is just this kind of reminds me of Natasha. All of you guys have known my dog Natasha, who's a husky that I rescued from South Central, from the hood, basically many years ago. She's 12 now. She was 9 months old when I rescued her. And she's a street dog, so she's street savvy. And growing up, I grew up in Central America. My dad worked for Bank of America, and I grew up in Central America, in Honduras and Guatemala and Caracas, Venezuela. And in third world countries, you see a lot of dogs that run basically in packs. And they're semi-feral. They associate with humans in as much as they kind of use people to get food and things that they want, but they learn how to understand the human energy. They know when it's safe to approach humans and when it's not, but they're always good around other dogs because they've always learned what it takes to navigate around other dogs and when to submit, when to surrender, and when to move forward. So it's a really interesting thing, but what it says to me is it stresses the importance of socializing your dog. And when I say socializing, I'm not talking about the occasional walk down the street so your dog can meet another dog on the leash. I'm talking about a dog that is inundated with the sights, the surroundings, and the sounds of life. Okay? Sights, surroundings, sounds of life. All right? I made that up years ago, and I'm sticking to it because it's such a huge concept for me. Because when I look at Natasha, I think about the fact that here Natasha came from South Central LA, right? And I have a lot of experience dealing with a lot of people that live in Beverly Hills or other areas where they can get expensive purebred dogs or rescue dogs or whatever, and the dogs come totally balanced to them, and then all of a sudden 6 months to a year and a half later they're calling me or somebody else for help because the dogs have their behavior has eroded and they've become extremely intolerable of other dogs, or they become aggressive or reactive at least reactive to other dogs, and aggressive to them, but reactive probably from my perspective. But it really, really highlights the importance of socializing to me. And what Danny has on his hands is an extremely balanced dog that is basically grew up in a third world country. The advantage of living in, well, let me start with this. The disadvantage of living in a third world country, of course, is that dogs they probably don't get the best nutrition. They probably don't get the best vet care. They don't have a warm bed to sleep in at night. But the reality part of it, the good part of it, is that they don't get coddled. They don't get massive amounts of unearned affection, right? They know how to fend for themselves. They know how to navigate in life. When I was in Brazil a couple of years ago, the people that hosted me there, my friends Gustavo and Tanara that hosted me while I was there teaching a workshop, we went downtown, and I would see dogs that were walking down the streets almost like little businessmen. They stayed on the sidewalk. They didn't get off the street. They didn't get in danger. They were never in danger of being hit by cars. And I remember saying to Gustavo, wow, these Brazilian dogs are really smart dogs. And I remember his answer to me was, well, the ones that aren't so smart are dead. Now that may sound harsh to you guys, but the reality is that he's right, that only the strong survive, that the ones that weren't as savvy about the street, that didn't understand the danger of people that they couldn't trust, that didn't understand the danger of cars and traffic, that didn't understand the danger of going in and getting food from a dog that they shouldn't have gone and gotten it from. Those were the dogs that didn't survive. The ones that were street savvy, that actually learned from their mistakes and understood the dangers out there and understood the people they could trust and they couldn't trust, those were the ones that survived. Okay? Another great example to me is my friend Mary, who lives in Taiwan. There is a part of the culture there that looks at stray dogs almost as though they're rodents. They trap them. It's a very ugly scenario, and she is an amazing person. I've talked about her before in my videos, but she rescues about 200 dogs a year that are trapped, that come, a lot of times they've lost a leg because their leg has been caught in the trap. These dogs she ends up exporting, basically finding them homes in the States or in other countries. They never, ever have dog aggression issues because they've learned how to navigate around a pack of other dogs. A lot of times they have some fear issues and some issues that involve a lack of socialization with people because they were street dogs, but they never have dog aggression. And that's really interesting to me because my #1 problem that I get with clients that come to me is inter-pack aggression, or dogs that are reactive on the leash when they're walking down the street and they see other dogs. So there's this major unnatural aggression or reactivity towards other dogs. But these dogs that grow up in third world countries, they don't have that. So that tells me a lot. Maybe they don't get the best food, maybe they don't get the little leather Italian collars like Bjorn has, right? And they don't get their own Instagram account like Bjorn has. But you know what? They're super balanced. And that's what Danny has. He has a super balanced dog. And so the same as Natasha is, because she wasn't coddled. The first time I saw Natasha, I was just pulling up to Caesar's place back when he was in South Central, way back in the day, and I think it was like on 190th, and for those of you that know LA, 190th and Central, like really, really deep in the hood, dangerous area. And here I see this beautiful little 9-month-old husky standing on the street. But the most amazing thing about her is that she was looking both directions. She was looking to see where the traffic was coming from. This direction or that direction, this direction, that. And she would watch, and when there would be an opening, she would cross. And what she was drawn to was actually the Caesar's pack. She knew there were dogs there, and she was always very dog social. Plus there was food there, and she was fending for herself at that time on the streets. So she still has remained that way, that she still has that same demeanor. So when I walk with my pack, there are occasionally people that will fire guns that shoot deer and squirrels and that type of thing around here, which I can't stand, but it's the reality of living in the country. And my other dogs will jump. Dogs that are my client dogs, some of them will really freak out. Natasha's like nothing. It's like nothing to her because she's been so inundated with those sights and surrounds. She's seen traffic go by her quickly. She's had people probably brush her away from the sidewalk or trying to get into garbage with a broom or whatever she's dealt with, but she's learned how to navigate that. So Danny, you have on your hands, you have an amazing dog, and you asked me, the question that you asked me was whether this is just part of her nature or are other dogs this way? Well, both. Yes, it's part of her nature now, but it's because of the way she was raised. You understand? So because she was not coddled and not given a ton of affection probably in her early days, and she learned how to fend for herself, it made her strong, it made her confident, it made her know how to kind of navigate and understand the world without being without these other associations and these other ways of being treated, the way those of us that don't live in third world countries tend to humanize our dogs. So hope that makes sense. I was kind of all over the map tonight, but I really wanted to make a point about them, and I was so thrilled to hear about this dog because it sounded so much to me like Natasha and like other dogs that I've seen that have been raised in the same sort of scenario. So all right, so that's all I have to say about that. I lost both my sidekicks here, but I'll have them again, and I will talk to you guys later. Make sure to submit questions and subject matter for me because that's what I love to address. Love you guys. See ya. Bye.